Hi, this is the second video regarding the quarterly monitoring tools. This one is concerned with the quarterly report part 2. This is the partnership level that is populated by the partnership lead and is a consolidation of all of the returned provider org level reports, the part 1 reports. So, as before, if we're opening this from an email, we will get an enable editing message at the top. Click enable editing. Okay. In exactly the same way as with partnership level, with part 1, you only fill in terms of your population, the yellow cells, the pale yellow cells. So the Learning Collaborative, we are from the Midlands. Okay. Your partnership, shall we say, Solihull. Okay. And again, our monitoring period is going to be July to September. Okay, that is the first part that you need to fill in. These sections here are automatically calculated. Okay, if you see up here, there are some quite convoluted calculations, and there is a reason for that. Okay, so what you need to do is over here, you need to be pasting the information that you have received from the various different organizations. So, excuse me, if I just close this down, and I have created 2 organizations reports. So service 1, the one that we did earlier, if I capture those 3 columns, which is where we've keyed in the information, right click, copy. Okay, and then we are going to go to the part 2 report. Over here you will see that there are some cells that have paste values, then paste formats. Okay, so the first one here, click into that cell where it says paste values, then paste formats, right click, paste values. Okay, and secondly, paste formats. Okay, the reason you have to do it in 2 stages is simply because these cells here are merged cells, and it won't allow you to copy and paste huge amounts of information into merged cells. So we have to do it in that 2-stage process of paste values and then paste formats. Okay. What you will see is the information on this side is already being populated for you. So it knows that we have 1 yes in that dedicated participation lead. It looks to this cell here and says that you have 1 organization within your partnership. Okay, so and we go to our second service, other service. Okay, so this is another organization that we have received information from. Exactly the same thing. Those 3 columns, sorry. Whoops. Try again. Those 3 columns, copy. Go here, and we scroll across to the next, paste values. Click into the next paste values. Right click, paste values. And then paste formatting. Okay, now your calculations along this side will now know that we have 2 organizations, and it looks across and sees how many of those organizations have answered yes. So is there a dedicated participation lead? 2 services, both services have answered yes and yes. Okay, so 2 services have answered it yes. That's 100% of providers within that partnership have answered positively for that question. Here, as you will see, other service answered no, whereas service 1 answered yes. So we have 50% response rate. Okay. Likewise, as before, it will also automatically calculate the total number met, which is at the moment is 11, and it will know that a percentage met by the service provider and organizations, 69%, because there are 8 questions, 2 partnerships, so 16 So it's divided by 16 already for you, so it does all of those calculations for you. You don't need to worry about that. Likewise, when we get to the sums in terms of things like how many clinicians or practitioners within the organizations are working with mental health, it does those calculations for you. So that's 8, that was 3 in service 1, sorry, 5 in service 1, 3 in other services, 8. Okay, so it tells you as a partnership overall how many clinicians are working there, how many are using those outcome measures, and again it gives you the percentages. There's a formatting issue there which we can fix easily, but it's 37% on that one. Okay, everything else does as it should do. That then leaves you as the partnership lead only having to look across to the difficulties that have been highlighted by all of your various different organizations and coming up with a consolidated view of what the kind of core difficulties were for your partnership and what the development needs and development goals are for your partnership as a whole, and likewise for your key actions as part of the narrative. All of the sums should be worked out and will be worked out for you. So again, number of children and young people offered intervention during that reporting period is the 300 from the first service and the 20 from the previous service. And the reason for this is because it deals with economies of scale. So you have a large organization that was hitting 67% with PROMs, and a much smaller service that was hitting 100%. Okay, so because it's a much smaller organization, it doesn't affect that overall sum as much as the larger organizations do. That makes sense. Okay, so hopefully, again, this should make things a lot easier for you as partnership leads, because the only cells that you should need to fill in once you've done the copying and pasting are the cells marked in pale yellow. Your difficulties and your developments, your commentaries. Basically, everything else is already worked out for you and does as it should do. Okay. The only other thing you may need to do, if you have a organization or provider that does not return the quarterly monitoring report that you require, so you do not have the information from you, it is important that we acknowledge that this information doesn't represent all. So we have another service that we are going to call service 2. Whoops, caps lock off. Service 2. What that does by just putting their name in that yellow cell is it acknowledges, it looks up and it knows that actually you have 3 providers within that partnership. Okay, and what that does to your calculations obviously is if you didn't have that service in, okay, that those 2 yeses here represent 100% of your providers have answered yes, whereas in truth, whoops, we haven't had a response from the third. It's actually only 66.66 recurring that have answered positively. So that then more accurately reflects the true picture for your partnership. Okay, so to recap, as before, the pale yellow cells only. With the provider information that you have, you go across to your next empty, whoops, paste values, and then you paste, you copy those cells across, paste values, then paste formats, and repeat for each one of the provider organizations within your partnership. This sheet can take up to 15 provider organizations per partnership. So we think that there should be sufficient for every partnership within any of the collaboratives across England. Okay, that's that. I hope that helps. As before, save it and then send this one to your collaboratives coordinator, who will then populate all of these partnerships forms into the collaborative view.